sports shows on the air. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Lou Nanny, and Sid Hartman. Sid, all kinds of sports to talk about tonight in this winter season between the Timberwolves, the Wild, the Gophers, the Vikings, the Twins make deals, all those things. I think I know where you want to start. Tell us where you want to start with this thing.
Unbelievable how a team defensively can blow.
The Vikings you're talking about.
They've lost 5 games by 12 points. By 12.
Is that as incredible a 2 minutes as we'll ever see?
Never seen anything like that in my life. Except the defense on that snow was a big handicap. The offense had a big edge, I think.
Nobody played well in the snow.
Oh.
Till the end.
But Greenway gets a interference call.
But that was questionable. That was a bad call.
Yep. A couple questionable calls. Patrick?
The NFL, you can... At 5 minutes to 12 today, I didn't care if I watched a minute of the Viking game. I could care less, and I turned it on and saw it was snowing, so I watched. So I watched for a half hour. Then I went into the office for a while, and all of a sudden, that's what they got going for them.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
team stinks. It doesn't make any difference, and you can't take your eyes off it because they scored 36 points in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. It was unbelievable.
That was unbelievable to watch. Yeah, I have to tell you.
Well,
it doesn't matter. Game didn't mean much to the Vikings. It was superb.
Hang on, Sid. Hang on. Louis finishing a thought. You know how
I went to get my Christmas tree over at Brad's. I was going to get you one on Friday. No, it was.
Get him too.
Yeah, I was over at this week. I had a real memorable night. I went to St. Olaf Choir.
Is it first time?
First time in orchestra. I had to go sign books there. He says, one condition, if you give me tickets for that. It's one of the most memorable nights. And I said to my wife that night, I don't know if I can have a better day than that. But I got to tell you, I'm watching the Viking game today. That was as exciting. I loved the St. Olaf show. It was unbelievable. And then I come, no, actually at St. Olaf.
Yeah.
And I watched that football game today. I just couldn't move. I could not move. And my wife, who's not a big football fan, she never left the TV.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe it either.
Yeah, it had everything.
That's your problem. They are so big.
The
That's
Vikings.
all people think about.
Yeah.
I talked to a couple of cab drivers. When they win, tips are good. When they lose, there's no tips. I used to talk to the Kozileks at buses going to the game. If they win, they come back in the joint, get drunk. If they lose, they go home.
Go home, yeah.
They don't care. I was there Saturday night, and Billy Kozlak had 240 lawyers upstairs drinking. He was very happy. He was very happy.
Destination.
They had their Christmas party upstairs.
Do you think it's better they won or lost for this team's?
I think it worked out perfect.
So do I.
Great game.
You had a fun game. The team fought gamely. You could be mad at the officials. That's why they lost. And you still lost to keep your draft choice.
That's what I said. We're still there. We're going to get a high draft pick.
And Tampa keeps winning. They're ahead of us.
Yeah.
They're ahead of us now. Yeah.
No, it's great that they put up a heck of a fight. And Castle played tremendous. And how about the catches Jennings was making today? One
Well,
of the
Cordero
catches.
Patterson ended up being the story.
But he is a
and
story.
Gerhardt.
He is a story.
Well, that's a big.
Yeah.
That's a big question. He is trending this way.
Well,
You know,
He's a
and
weapon.
you got
That's what
both
I wrote
Patterson
about.
and Gerhardt. They're going to have to sign Gerhardt to come back.
That's what.
And that's two great players.
I think Patterson can be another Harvin.
Type.
Maybe better,
He's
because
bigger.
he's bigger and stronger and faster. That deal turned out to be good. Harvin, they tell me, not going to play the rest of this year. That ribs is still bothering him. And then the great Rice goes out there and signs a free agent contract for big money.
He's hardly played.
He ain't played for 2 years.
No.
Poor Seattle. How are they going to get by? No, this Patterson kid is, he's something on that field like that. I'd hate to try to catch him if he makes a little cut on you. And you know what I couldn't figure out is on the Gerhardt run?
Yeah.
What were they doing? Baltimore. They had
see that
like
gap?
3 big, they had a nose tackle and they had 2 defensive ends about 20 yards away from him, and he just ran straight ahead and they didn't touch him. I don't think they'll bring him back, though. I think he wants to go somewhere where he can play.
Gerhardt?
Well,
Gerhardt.
I think
yeah.
you're right. I've
I'm
talked
sure
to him
they're
a
going
couple
to
times.
attempt to come back.
I think they'll try to get him to come back.
The other thing that's attractive about him is there's not much tread gone from the tires. He becomes an attractive free agent, you know.
Right.
Who's that, Tubby?
Toby Gerhardt.
Toby Gerhardt.
Yeah.
Huh?
Toby Gerhardt.
Well, he wants to stay here if he can, if they'll pay him.
Well, he's
Well,
not
it's
going
a
to
pay.
tell you he's
No.
not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chances are he's the kind of guy, if he got in there every week, he might not do so good.
But he'd like to have more than, he got
Yeah.
one carry last week or whatever. And
When he was at Stanford
he's a
City,
great kid.
when he was at Stanford, he carried the ball more than anybody in the country.
yeah, he is a great kid. Take a break, come back, sports show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Bar Abilene at Lagoon and Fremont in uptown Minneapolis. And Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.
Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyt's on Washington. What a great place during the holiday season to stop, relax, and have a great meal. J.D. Hoyt's in downtown Minneapolis. Welcome back to the Sports Show. As they continue to negotiate this week for the new Vikings Stadium, I got to tell you, I think the Wilfs have taken a big hit reputation-wise from this judge and from the way they've negotiated as they've tried to get this new stadium done.
I think that was pretty good. They gave $41 million that they didn't have to give. They just agreed to give that. They just agreed to do something about those signs. They give them some more money for that to get that Wells Fargo sign.
Well, they're not giving
Wolves have
any.
been pretty
Yeah, they're
good.
not giving
They're
any.
not giving any money. They're stopped complaining about the signs. They signed off on the signs.
And they're giving money from the money that they make off the stadium.
Yeah.
They'll make a lot of money.
I'm just
I
telling you,
think
I
I
think they've
told
taken a
this.
hit.
I think I told this story on a show. Tampa broke even the year before they got the new stadium. $45 million the next year.
Right. So the Wilfs are going
I'd-
to make a ton of money. And I'm saying,
I'd say the worst thing that happened to Ziggy, though, was the Star Tribune photographer who managed to catch him shoveling the dirt. was the worst thing that ever happened to Ziggy. He just looked like saying, "Oh, did I give it to you, fellas?"
Dayton's over here going, oh, did we just get it, man?
Oh, we got it. That was almost as if it was posed, that picture.
That one had to get as much conversation, at least, as any I've
Oh,
seen.
all of Deadspin, and everybody put it on the internet.
Gophers are going to a bowl game in Houston again, Patrick.
Syracuse, I'm very excited. Syracuse beat Wagner, Tulane, NC State, Wake Forest, Boston College, and I can't remember who, but they only lost by 56 points twice.
That's
Once
it.
to Georgia Tech and once to Florida State. I think we got our first bowl victory since
Whenever,
Mace
huh?
had the 3-game winning streak there.
Louis?
Well, the important thing is the Gophers are going to get a lot of practice time. They're going to get on ESPN on December 27th. Had they gone to Dallas, it would have been on ESPNU. So they didn't want to do that. So they're going to get good exposure, extra practice time, and hopefully then they will win a bowl game.
Can I add one thing to that? Did
Yes.
anybody happen to catch SMU on Saturday playing in Dallas against Central Florida?
How was it
They had an
going?
ice storm.
Yeah.
There weren't 1,500 people in the whole stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, and people don't realize this, but that panhandle is no guarantee you're going to get a nice day, you know?
You know who's in the heart of Texas, the heart of Dallas Bowl on New Year's Day? UNLV versus North Texas. I think
Is
you'll be
that
able to
right?
get a ticket.
I think so.
See,
They're running
Houston,
out of
Houston
team.
really
Yeah.
does a good
Yes.
job with tickets. They give the season ticket holders for the Texans get tickets, and they always have
They
good
give them
crowds
to
there.
them.
No matter how they get there, they get there. I don't care how they get
Do
there.
they go to the
because
game?
They obviously they must because they've had good crowds there.
Last year they had Texas Tech. They don't have Texas Tech this year.
No, they got Syracuse.
Yeah, that was wrong. Nobody.
Well, I think the Big 12 ran out of teams.
Yeah.
Is why the Big
Qualified
12 didn't
teams.
have enough
Yeah.
bowl teams.
But
eligible.
this whole championship Saturday is something else for college football. That's pretty good for you with your TVs watching Michigan State and Auburn. Some pretty good games yesterday.
Oh boy, that's why it's hard for me to leave the house to go to some of these games. I watched some of those games last night. That Auburn has got some guys. There's a tiger chasing them every minute. They're running like a tiger or a lion is running in back of them. I never seen such speed in my life, any place.
Well, they went from the basement to the penthouse, so they did quite a
Penthouse,
job.
basement, penthouse.
If they win, it'll be 5 straight national titles for the state of Alabama.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's unbelievable.
But see, this is where the Big Ten championship game. Maybe Ohio State would have gone if they hadn't played the Big Ten championship game. It cost the conference a lot of money.
Oh, for sure. They'll get a less BCS team now.
Yeah.
No, but they
can get.
they still had 2.
Yeah.
They still
We
had
got
2.
Ohio State and Wisconsin.
They just would have had 2 different. They would have had one in the
Or
title
Ohio
game.
State,
and
Michigan State.
one
Oh,
in
they got 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
but
got
the title
2.
game
Ohio
pays
State
more.
And Michigan.
Ohio,
Yeah,
Michigan
5,
State?
6 million.
Ohio State and Michigan State?
Yeah,
The
our
title game.
BCS bowl
The
game.
title game doesn't pay that much more. Couple
Are
of
you
million.
sure?
Yeah,
I
it
thought
doesn't
it was
pay
about
that
$1 million
much.
at school.
No.
I think you're
Doesn't.
probably right.
Okay.
Too
But
school.
the thing is, the Gophers get the extra practices, which you've always been a big fan of for bowl games.
Yeah, and there's
I'll-
only now there's 38 bowl games. There's only 75 other teams that get the extra practice.
Is it 38?
38 bowl games.
38 bowl games. Is that too many?
Yeah.
We'll have one here to watch and
Yeah.
see. They're going to try and get one here.
But why? Why do a bowl game if you can't bring any, there's nothing to it?
Well, if they could get Iowa State or some local
I guess.
team like that.
Let me say
to
something.
draw.
The legend is that you get a better bowl game if you travel well.
Right.
Bull crap. It's all TV ratings. So the reason Jacksonville knows damn well that there's going to be 45 people from Nebraska who are going to go to the Gator Bowl. They don't care about the Gator Bowl. They're mad at the coach, okay? But because it's Nebraska, they'll get a 2.8 instead of a 1.7 because people have heard of them. Same thing with Michigan and Arizona. Nobody's going to go to the game from Michigan. They don't care. But we draw better at either of those places but we don't have the sex appeal as a name.
We were
What
gonna
about Syracuse
have
and
at least 11,000 tickets.
Minnesota, as far as their rating.
No, we were gonna have 11,000 tickets if we
No
went to the
rating?
Gator Bowl.
I said that's why why the Gophers fell behind Michigan and Nebraska in the bowl pecking order because they don't have
Syracuse-
as big a record. Well, Syracuse has got nothing to do with it, Sid. I'm talking about the Big Ten.
11,000 if they'd have been in Florida. Yeah, but everybody would have been coming in wheelchairs and whatnot. That means somebody's down there.
Well, you got to remember the
It's
Mayo
you and your
Clinic's there,
buddies.
too. You're right. The Mayo Clinic's there, so they can get treatment. So it's
But
okay.
at least the Gator
Because the other
Bowl's
place
been
is right
around.
there.
At least the Gator Bowl's been around since the 1930s, so you can make a case that hey, you're going to a game you heard of.
Okay, what's the one in Orlando where the Twins
Used to
played
be
Tinker
the
Field?
Tangerine Bowl, and
Capital
then
City
but
Bowl.
it's now the Capital One Bowl,
Okay.
and it's a pretty good bowl.
But is that where UCF plays, or does somebody play there during the year?
I think UCF has its own stadium.
So does anybody play there?
No.
Never forget that Capital One Bowl. It was right next to the Orlando ballpark.
Yep.
And they built a whole bunch of lousy stands, and they collapsed. And
Yep.
people got hurt.
The temporary seating, you mean? Take a break, come back, stay with us.
Right next to the
Stop on by, perfect for all seasons. Audi Minneapolis, located right off of Wayzata Boulevard. Say hi to Bruce and the whole gang there when you stop by at Audi. Timberwolves are, I don't know, man. I'm not sold now on this team. I was excited about them. Went to the game last night. Now, granted, they didn't have Love, and I didn't expect them to win. But they don't have a lot of scoring options right now.
Well, that team had lost 2 in a row coming in here.
Miami, which is why I figured they'd kill the Timberwolves.
And they just shot 27%. The guy who was a big surprise to me is Rubio.
What's he doing? I mean,
He
I don't
can't
know.
shoot a lick.
Well, he never could.
But they told us he had this great summer off season that they thought he'd be back and better.
Now, once in a while, guys get better as shooters, but usually you can either shoot or you can't. I do think they'll be a little better when they get Buttinger and Turioff. They give them the second unit won't be as rotten as it is now.
Yeah, because they don't have many scoring options. Kevin Martin had to try to take over the game for him last night. That doesn't work.
He's been good.
He's a great player, but I mean, him by himself was all they had for options. Louis, you got any thoughts on that?
Wild one tonight.
Yeah, go watch the hockey
They
team.
played a great team. San Jose, they got outshot badly, but Harding was the story again.
So are the Wild? I mean, are they a second-round playoff? This West. I mean, you could be the
I just
best
want
team
them
in
to get
the
into
East. And
playoffs.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Oh,
The West is tough. The West is tough. they're going to have to battle for a playoff position all year long. But right now, they look like they're going to be consistent enough to get in there.
The good news
could
is
be anybody.
The good news is you only got 14 teams. So the East stinks, but they got 16 teams. So
Yeah.
you got a better
There's,
percentage-wise. You got a better chance.
Is this new division setup helping them?
Oh, especially for people viewing the games. They're not traveling to Vancouver all the time and L.A. and Edmonton and Calgary. They are so far ahead. The viewing audience, the travel on the players, the excitement, the rivalries.
I
When do
think
they
the
start?
The bonus here is the Winnipeg rivalry.
Yeah, that's well, you know, when Winnipeg was in the league before, we used to always have so many buses coming down from Winnipeg for our games, and the extra benefit right now is you can't get a ticket in Winnipeg anymore. They sold out those tickets like for 5 years. People are coming here to watch the Jets when they come down because they can't see them in Winnipeg.
I got. Do we have Manitobans living in the Twin Cities? Is there a population of them? I mean,
No,
are they
but
transplanted down? I know they're coming down on buses, but are they living here too?
Well, I imagine there's some, but I don't think there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
They got
I
a
would
new
say.
building, don't they?
Yeah, new building. They got
Small,
the
but
richest
it's
owner
only-
in Canada.
It's only
In that deal.
15,500 seats, so there's.
Yeah,
no,
that's where they made a
Good
mistake.
suites.
Hard
Yeah,
to
but
believe.
they made a mistake there. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sid.
Hard to believe Atlanta couldn't support a hockey team, but Winnipeg can.
Well, Winnipeg got people to know about hockey.
Yeah, right.
I tell
What's
you,
the
Winnipeg
surprise?
couldn't support a basketball team right now in the NBA, so
No.
that's no different, you know.
You used to take that train up to watch Bud Grant up there, huh?
Pardon me?
You used to take the train to watch Bud Grant in Winnipeg, huh? Is that what you did?
I
Took
used
the
to go
train?
up there a lot.
Would you take the train or would you just drive or what?
No, drive up there.
Yeah.
Drive up there.
And those were a big deal back in those days, the Blue Bombers.
Well, they were selling out every game, about 20,000. Now they got a new new football stadium.
They were
Seats
3 and
about
15 this year.
35,000.
They were the worst team in the league.
Winnipeg's down a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah,
huh?
But they still sell.
the
People still go.
Saskatchewan Roughriders
Regina.
playing at home won the Grey Cup for only, I think, the third time in their history. And the Grey Cup's been around 100 years, longer than the
But not
the
that many
NFL.
teams.
Yeah.
No.
What do they got? 12
8,
teams?
9, 10. 8 now, but
About
usually
8, yeah.
8, 9, or 10.
Since Trestman left, man, he had a nice stronghold there for a bit at Montreal.
He had a nice place too in Montreal. That's for sure.
Yeah. Take a
Did
break.
he try to get closer than 47 yards for his winning field goals? Or
Take a break, come back.
Did he say this is close enough? Place, goddamn.
There it is. Viking fans, join the Kick Hunger Challenge and help the Vikings clinch #1. Visit supporttastethennfl.com and join an NFL team. All donations to the Minnesota Vikings team page will be distributed to Second Harvest Heartland Food Bank. Tell your friends and family it's easy and it's fun. Taste the NFL, Kick and Hunger, Wayne Kostrowski, and a lot of good people.
I got to ask Sid a question. Is Les Frazier coming back, you think? He
I
might be
will
the only
think
guy
they're
in
going to bring
town.
Frazier back, and they're going to fire some defensive guys. I think they don't want. How long they had the team? 9 years.
I don't know.
2005. That
About,
summer
yeah.
of 2005 was when
Fired
they
Tice,
took over.
fired
Childress.
Glenn. Now the third coach. I don't think they want that reputation. I don't think they'll give him an extension.
Louis.
Well, I hope he comes back, but you know there's going to be some changes. They're not going to keep the same thing if they've had 4 or 5 games lost in the last couple of minutes. Some changes are definitely coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Wolves play to the fan base, but like I said, I think
Yeah.
they're going to have to do something to regain the fan base
Yeah.
because I think they've lost some trust.
But
Sidney,
here's the deal. Here's the deal. You don't get one of the big names, though, and keep Spielman. You can't do both. You know, you can't bring in one of the highfalutin guys and say you're going to be taking orders from Rick Spielman. So they have to.
That's going to
for
be
the name Mike Mularkey.
who?
Forget it. Hey, the Twins, are you happy with the signing or not? The signings? You seem kind of lukewarm on it at the press conference.
Well, I'm lukewarm.
Yeah.
Nobody can convince me if the Dodgers thought this guy is a great pitcher
Yeah.
that they wouldn't give him the money. And nobody can convince me the same way with the Yankees.
But you have to remember, when you make a deal or you make a signing, you want the guys coming in to be better than you have. So I have to think that they're better than what they have. So
Yes, no
they're
doubt
going to be
about it.
improved. So that, you know, they might have overpaid. I don't know. I doubt it. But
I'll tell you, they're lucky they got him when they did because when Scott Feldman gets 3 years, $30 million, you know,
Who signed him?
Houston. 3 years, $30 million for Scott Feldman. Ricky Nolasco looks pretty good at 48, and Hughes looks pretty good at 24. And I think they're going to do something in Orlando, too. I think they're going to get one more pitcher.
Houston's the same kind of boat as the Twins. They're in that same, trying to bring somebody in that does something for them, but I don't know where. There are a lot of interesting kind of free agent signings, though, with Granderson moving to the Mets and Ellsbury to the Yankees and Cano to Seattle.
Cano was a joke.
$240 million. I do like the fact that a second-rate market signs him, but God almighty.
Not for that much money. That's an absolute horrendous signing.
Right, because you can't build around him. You don't have enough.
$225 million?
They got a pitcher. How much is he getting for Seattle?
Hernandez?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're paying. 15,
Big
16.
money.
And they're supposedly trying to get David Price for $200 million. It was if they trade for him. So they're all of a sudden they've decided to spend money.
These teams go through these weird cycles.
Yeah.
Well, plus everybody's getting $25 million more a year from TV this year.
Yes.
Yep.
Just like in hockey.
In baseball, they love to spend it as soon as they get it, too.
I'll tell you what.
Overspend.
Bud Selig, they should get on their hands and knees and thank him what he's done for baseball since he became commissioner.
He's done a good job.
Huh?
Yeah.
Done a good job.
You know what?
Mike, let's talk about the Gopher basketball and hockey teams.
Okay.
Because they're doing well, and you got, you
Go
know.
for hockey, this Big Ten. I didn't know a shootout was coming. I forgot that the other night.
Well,
you like that?
I like it to watch it, not to make it count points, but at least they have 3, 2, and 1 point schedule, so it's different. But the Gophers played really well. The men's team against Wisconsin the first night, second night for 2 periods, then they bounced back, and I think that's going to be their toughest competition. Michigan State's not very good, so I wasn't overly thrilled how they won that game.
Don't count in the pair rise ratings, right? Just in the Big Ten standings, but it's not a loss. It's nothing. You know.
I was at the Gopher basketball game yesterday against New Orleans. Hard to tell when they're playing a team like that.
Well, Patino's got them playing, but I think that everybody, the most positive thing coming right now is everybody's talking about Patino. What a good job he's doing, and what these kids are doing. Even Sid tonight came to me, and he said the same thing. And I was waiting to hear what he thought of Patino. But I think it's good.
We got to go. See you back here next week.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Bar Abilene at Lagoon and Fremont in uptown Minneapolis. And Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.